evening, everybody. This is Mike Tedesco of Wrestleview.com.
And Victoria Tedesco.
All right. Sorry, we got our stream working here. Everything is all good to go. Appreciate everybody hanging in with us. This is a very, very newsworthy Raw tonight. A lot of stuff happening. A lot of stuff. We have a brand new Intercontinental Champion. We have a humongous change to the Royal Rumble, particularly when it comes to the WWE Universal Championship match. We had the reveal of when the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships will be having their first champion crowned. We have that reveal. And I don't know if you know, but Glass, the movie Glass, comes out this Friday. I don't know if you saw any of the 9,246 plugs that they had for it on the show tonight, but Glass, everybody. Glass is coming with Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis and the guy who did all the split personality things.
Patricia,
yes. That Glass thing wore me out something fierce, like big time. I don't know, like, how many spots they paid for on Raw tonight, but they actually did a picture-in-picture. They interrupted the tag team match with Ronda Rousey in it to show a preview for Glass. And then everything. There's like one real giant glass shattering moment in WWE history, which was Shawn Michaels throwing Marty Jannetty through the glass barbershop window on Brutus Bar Beefcake's barbershop.
Literally glass.
Literally glass. That was the Glass moment of the night, which was from like 1992, so almost 30 years ago. That's exciting. God, like the entire night was run by Glass. But
well, what's interesting about that
I'm excited to see it too.
Well, see, I don't like things shoved down like my throat like that.
Oh yeah,
so
I know, right?
That's where I'm like, I don't know if I want to see it now. I mean, I'll still see it, but
I know, like
I don't like too much.
I gotta say, like I enjoy the Glass trilogy. I love the first movie. What was it called? I love the first movie. What was it called? Unbreakable with Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson. I love the Mr. Glass thing. I had no idea that. I mean, like they played into it at the end, but like I had no idea that they were making a trilogy out of this, because the first one came out in 2000, I think it was, or 2001. Was
it really that long ago?
It was that long ago, and then they came out with Split in 2016.
Which no idea that was anything to do with it.
No clue until the end when they started talking about the train and they showed Bruce Willis sitting in the bar, and now it's like,
when I watched
Samuel
it,
Jackson.
I thought, I'm like, oh, is this a really kind of nice movie to attribute to like mental health and blah 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 blah, and I'm like, no, there's nothing to do.
Zero
to do with it.
No.
I mean, you could still, I guess,
have
the mental health discussion, but
you know what I gotta say, I kind of like that, like Hollywood has gotten back to actually promoting M. Night Shyamalan or Shyamalan or however you say his name. I think it's Shyamalan. I think so. But like for a while, like his name was like mud because every movie that he put out, like pretty much after The Sixth Sense, kind of sucked. And like he really jumped the shark with that movie The Village, and then like pretty soon they stopped promoting that like he was the one who wrote and directed the movies. And then it's like you go to the show and it's like, oh, the trees are trying to kill people, they're getting revenge for being chopped down. Well, who wrote this crap? It's like, oh, it's M. Night Shyamalan.
What was that one movie with the cereal box? Like the cereal, the back of the cereal box,
the woman in the
water or something. Yeah,
brutal.
It was like that revealed like the secret, like really a cereal box.
But that movie Split kind of brought him back, and I guess now it's they're okay promoting him again. So Glass is coming, everybody. I just had to talk about Glass because that's all that was dominated Raw tonight.
And no, we're not getting paid to talk about Glass either.
No, and we should, because this is the 4,000th plug now on something that has to do with Raw.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, M. Night Shyamalama Ding Dang. I don't know what your name is, but I don't know how to say it. But yeah, so that's what happened on Raw, pretty much. And that was the most important thing.
Oh, I was going to say, we can just end the show because that's what happened on Raw.
We could just end
the Glass.
We could end it right here. Golly.
That's not all that happened on Raw, everybody.
No, that's not all that happened on Raw. And we're going to get to Raw right now because it was a really big show. But first, I just want to say hello to everybody in the chat. We have Louis Veraldi here with us tonight, the devastatingly good-looking Louis Veraldi, by the way. He's lost a lot of weight. He still looks good. Quentin's here. Hello, Quentin. As always, our SmackDown number one fan. Let's see. We got Grash. We got Nafis. We have Billy Hefner, of course, and Jamel. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Sorry for the confusion before with the chat. Not with the chat, with the stream. And we also want to send a big thank you to those that are new first-time viewers of our show. Thank you for viewing us, and make sure you subscribe to the Wrestleview YouTube page so you can catch all of our great content, including Wrestleview Weekly with Doug Lackey. We like that show, don't we, Victoria?
Oh, absolutely.
And one day we will be on it, I promise.
One of us.
One of us will. I don't know if we have the connections to get the both of us on, but we shall see. And also, thank you to those that are listening to us not live, who download us on Spotify and check us out, or watch the replay on YouTube. We thank you all. So it's exciting. We still enjoy what we do. This is good stuff. So, Quentin's not enjoying the movie talk with M. Night Shyamalan. It could be. I think everybody's still kind of burned about him. I
don't blame you. I really don't.
But you know what? Enough talk about movies. Let's talk about Raw. And let's check out what everybody thought of this Raw, because you know what? Don't get me wrong, it was a 3-hour Raw. It still dragged at times. There were still times where it was like, oh my God, when is this over? But with all the news, with all the things that happened, particularly in the third hour, which is not very well. I wouldn't say it's not typical, but it's not. It's usually you get everything in the first hour. Agreed. But I guess they figure with football over and it's the first time, they've probably figured they'll have
let's try again.
More of a full viewership throughout the show. They put a little more in the third hour, or maybe it's to cue people like, hey, you should watch the third hour.
Yeah.
Anyway, hard to not give it a thumbs up. Let's see what the people say. If I could ever do that.
Drum roll, please.
Oh, it's 80% thumbs up. Wow.
Yay.
That's new for a Raw.
That's
been a while since we've recapped a Raw that was like universally acclaimed.
Well, also in the 80th percentile.
Yes. We've done shows in the 90th percentile before, but they were all thumbs down. Those Raws in December were epically bad.
Well,
epically bad.
Yeah. Not surprising.
Well, let's see what the chat room already people are saying. We got Lewis gave it a thumbs up. That's nice. He wants to talk about Glass some more though.
Oh.
Hey, and we have Grash asking, hey, did Doug get his NXT 2 main roster pick for Nikki Cross right? No, I'm going to say that right now. Nikki Cross did show up on Raw tonight, but the commentators were very, very quick to say with the main roster call-ups, they're not assigned to any brand, so while they're unassigned, they can appear on both Raw and SmackDown.
Heyo.
So it's not quite there yet. So I don't know if Doug should be drinking or what should be going on, but it's not a slam dunk yet for Nikki Cross on Raw, which is fine by me. We'll get into talking about that momentarily. Jamel gives the Raw a thumbs up as well. Very good stuff. All right, let's jump into this bad boy here. Well, we go right. First things first, we get Vince McMahon coming out of a limousine, and right at the start of the show, and he's not satisfied with a smudge on his limousine, so he has the driver come over and wipe out the smudge.
Yeah.
He just wasn't I was like, that's so Vince, just to do like something weird and random during a segment like that.
Of course he would do something like that.
He loves doing stuff like, oh, look at me, I'm the most powerful. I may be too powerful, but I'm not disrespectful. Oh, wait, no. That's wrong wannabe billionaire. Anyway. Braun Strowman, he makes his way out to the ring. He gets a decent reception. Honestly, it's like they're a year too late with Braun Strowman. It's like he was red hot way over last year. And obviously it was they were wanting Roman Reigns. So, at this time last year, I mean,
that's true.
But they wanted Roman Reigns, and I thought that I thought the title match at WrestleMania should have been a triple threat at the time. It should have been. Yeah. I thought it should have been Lesnar, Reigns, and Braun Strowman, but they didn't go with that. And it's only because really Reigns is gone that Strowman's getting any type of shot now, and it's like you missed the jump. You know, like people were clamoring for it. You could have just thrown him into made it a triple threat at WrestleMania since Lesnar won anyway. You know, what would be the big deal? But like, you know, they position him as like a top guy, and I don't know if it was like the crowd was subdued because it was another lame crowd. They had a lame crowd this week. They had a lame crowd last week. Last week wasn't a great show though. But he just doesn't feel like a top guy. I don't know about you.
I don't know if I 100% agree with that. I have to be honest with you. I just think that, I know maybe you have the mentality it's like too little too late. I don't think so with Braun Strowman though. I really don't. I think we can get him to that point again where he was red hot, even with the Roman Reigns being out and everything. I don't know. I can't say I 100% agree with that. I really think that they can get him. They just got to figure what it was last time that got him over so well. So.
Well, I think they built him really well as a monster. They really did. Where he's really been hurt is he's been slowed down by injuries. Obviously, the injuries are killing him, and we're going to talk about his injury momentarily because there's a lot of buzz all over the past week that Braun Strowman was not cleared yet, and there was a lot of speculation that he wasn't going to make it to the Royal Rumble. And I didn't believe it at first, but now I'm a believer.
Well,
now I'm a believer.
Yeah, of course.
Where he also got hurt was that really, really ill-timed, poorly conceived heel turn that just made no sense. And now it's like he's face again, and they're just trying anything.
When you go from a turn that quickly, it's never really a good thing.
Yeah.
Unless you're actually not fully committing to a turn, if that makes any sense. Like when Daniel Bryan at the time did that quick little heel turn with the Wyatt family, and then it was like, oh no, never mind. Like they made it like he was just using them but you know what I mean? But if you, unless it's like meant for something else, it's never really good to just have that quick back and forth turn like that, because you know they're just trying to correct a mistake that they initially made, and they had nothing else going on.
Yeah,
so
I can almost agree with that.
You throw for a loop, and you're like, eh. Do you remember that one time too, a few years ago, when Miz was heel, and then his movie came out, and it was like, oh, I'm face for a week or two,
right? And then it's Randy Orton kill him.
And then it's like, oh, I'm a heel again.
Yeah. Well,
and that was like the dark ages of like the Miz.
Yes.
You know?
I remember that. So, I do.
It doesn't work.
And then they had Randy Orton kill him in front of his parents to try to get like some face sympathy heat, and nothing happened. Nothing came of that.
No.
Yeah, kind of reminds me of that for sure.
When they do like, there's plenty more times. Those are just the two I'm thinking on top of my head. But when you can't start. You just can't
make it interchangeable. Like if you're going to commit to something, it has to be committed to. And I get it. Like everything.
It can't be like Big Show's.
Every single thing. It can't be like Big Show 9,000 turns. But like everything got thrown for a loop when Roman Reigns went down with leukemia.
And that we have to keep into mind too.
So everything gets jumbled up, but they were turning him face anyway during that time. So like I think people are forgetting that. This wasn't like Roman Reigns got leukemia. It's like all of a sudden Braun Strowman's face. They started like a week before Roman Reigns got the leukemia or announced that he had leukemia. They started it like a week or two before that. So, they were correcting a really bad mistake, a really big mistake. And, you need a guy that everybody like, okay, so you have Roman Reigns, that people weren't really into him until the leukemia thing. And now, but without, you need a guy to cheer for on Raw. You can't have a Raw without a top face that people truly want to see.
You need somebody.
Even if he's not the guy, you need to still have that guy. But they're trying tonight. What happened was, he comes out, he says, the title's his at I keep wanting to say the Greatest Royal Rumble. It's just the Royal Rumble. I don't want to go back to the Greatest Royal Rumble.
No.
And he's going to get the Universal Championship, and the only thing Lesnar's going to get is these hands That brings out Baron Corbin, who just wants to just screw up all of Strowman's plans. And he says, he's going to go somewhere Strowman will never go, the main event of WrestleMania. So Strowman's had enough. He chases him backstage, and this actually led to a bunch of really, really cool little cameos and run-ins. So Strowman runs backstage. Corbin ran off. He finds Sunil Singh, just launches him. Oh, I love that. Launches him right across the table.
Why not, though?
I can watch that all day long.
Me
that's
too.
Awesome.
I actually am watching it right now, over and over again, really on that GIF.
and then Strowman runs off, and then we hear a guitar strum. Elias starts singing about how Baron Corbin ran his mouth and he got in trouble and he's running away from the monster among men. But Elias saw where he went. So Strowman appears next to him, and then Elias sings, Baron Corbin's hiding. Yeah, he's down in that limo. That leads him to go down to a limousine, the one that Vince McMahon popped out of all people.
Clearly. And
takes a pipe, breaks, destroys the window, and Corbin runs away. And then Strowman rips off the door, and then all of a sudden Vince McMahon comes up, and that was another really, really funny cameo. I thought that was really awesome with Vince coming over there. Let me see if I can do this. Yeah, and he was like, "What did you just do?
What is happening?
Why is this happening?" and Vince says nothing, and it was really funny. He's sneering and stuff like that. We go back, we go to commercial. We come back. Strowman's trying to put the door back on the limo, but it falls off, and Vince says, "You're a wrecking ball. You're a danger zone. This is gonna." He says he's gonna fine him $100,000. So Strowman's furious and says his piece of crap limo is not worth it. And Vince McMahon has had a lot of trouble with limousines. A lot of trouble.
It seems to be that way.
I mean,
this is a pattern with him.
I mean, it was only 12 short years ago. Well, actually 11 and a half, really, that Vince McMahon stepped into a limousine and it exploded and he died. So he hasn't had much luck with limousines in his career. Anyway, so Strowman says it's not worth it. He yells at McMahon. So McMahon says, if you're going to raise your voice to me, then your Universal Championship match is canceled. So Strowman is so mad, but he doesn't do anything to McMahon. McMahon just walks off. So Strowman grabs the bottom of the limousine and tips it over. And just, why not? It's, we're upset. We just knock over cars.
Listen, if I could lift a limo, I'd do it.
The special effects that go behind Strowman, tipping these things over, like the ambulances and things like that. It's really, really impressive, I gotta say. Yeah. We make fun. Like, I thought that this was it was fun, but it was a kind of goofy little, segment. I know that it was done to try to just make sure that Strowman still looks like a monster heel. Not a monster heel, just a monster guy.
Yeah, just a monster.
Just a monster in general. So they want him to tip over the limousine so he doesn't get truly hurt by getting removed from the Rumble match. Right. But it still felt a little cheesy. And it still felt like going to the well once too often, because that was another issue. They kept having Strowman knock these things over, and it's just okay, we've seen something impressive all the time. He knocks over the stage, knocks over an ambulance, knocks over a limousine, knocks Kevin Owens out of the porta potty.
Yeah.
He's doing all these things, knocks steel scaffolding down on Brock Lesnar and Kane. He's done all this stuff. And it's okay, we've seen it before. Went to the well once too often, so it just loses its appeal,
luster.
And this one just felt okay, I've seen this before. It's not impressive. If he's gonna tip over the limousine, I just want to see. I know it's impossible to do it in just one shot, but these multi-camera angles, it's okay, we spent $100,000 in this limousine. We're gonna get every single angle we could possibly get, but it just looks so. It just looks so fake, and it takes me out of it. And I get it, wrestling's fake, but God, it's I don't need to be beat over the head with the fact that it's not real.
Overall, I thought it was just fun, and I'm okay with fun. No, I like fun.
We're fans of fun.
I like a little. You know what? Sometimes, once in a while, I don't mind a little cheese and a little bit of a goofball.
Yeah. You know what? That's the best way to put it. That's the best way to put it.
It's okay.
But this confirms everything that we heard, that Strowman's injured, and it could have ended. The show could have ended with Strowman coming out and beating everybody up in the Fatal 4-Way and having no winner, and it could have just been a swerve, but no, I think he's actually injured. And on to the next. The show must go on.
And that's the unfortunate part about all this with Braun Strowman, like you mentioned before.
There's a lot of unfortunate things. This is just one of many.
But any injury is just never good. Obviously, especially around a time when you're supposed to be. You have big stuff planned for you.
Yeah,
that's where it's really stinks.
I agree. I do feel bad for him that he missed the TLC match, and now he's missing the Rumble match. This could be a career spot for him. It could have been. I don't think he was going to win it, but it could have been a career spot.
It's just that the fact that
to have an actual match against Lesnar,
right?
Because he still has yet to have one.
So,
and Jamel says the ambulance spot is still the best. I have to agree. That was the first one. The only thing I just want to see him just like and he destroyed the ring with Big Show too. So I don't really know. I don't know how far can like what else he can do. Tear down the Titantron. I guess.
They'll find a way. They'll find a way to do something.
I don't know,
or just repeat something too.
This is a great idea from Grash over here. Victoria needs a cheese meter.
Ooh,
I like that idea. That's a great idea.
I really like that idea.
All right. That's a good one. That is a really good one.
Yeah.
We'll
have to work on that.
All right. Well, I don't like the idea I don't like the idea of Ronda Rousey versus Sasha Banks at the Royal Rumble. And if this feud is any indication of like what happened tonight with Ronda and Sasha, count me out of being somebody who's excited about it.
Count me out just to be in general.
In general. Yeah. So we have Ronda Rousey and Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax and Tamina. Just poor match all around. There was a weird obviously they had the weird picture-in-picture glass promo right in the middle of it, but there was a weird thing right before the first commercial break, because this needs to go two segments. It needs to go through a commercial break. It just had to, because it's so compelling that they got knocked. Nia Jax and Tamina got knocked out of the ring or something like that. No, Ronda was going for an armbar on Tamina, and Jax pulls Tamina out. And then they're just walking around the ring for literally a minute. And I think that they thought they were on commercial already at that point. And it was just awkward. It was weird. It was just poorly timed. And there was a lot of poorly timed stuff on the show. It was at certain points, it was a tough night for production. Really, really tough.
I would agree with that 100%.
They missed a few things. There was a couple of really weird commercial breaks and a couple of different...
weird spots, too.
Yeah. There were some strange things that were happening tonight, but this match all around stunk. Sasha Banks as the face in peril is brutal, because she is... I don't know. To me, Sasha Banks... Tell me if you agree with this. I don't know if you do, but... she is like fangirl on steroids who gets a shot, and she just goes to the ring and is just like, ooh, this is what wrestlers do. I'm going to, play wrestler. She's cosplaying as a wrestler right now, but she is not. Nothing she does makes sense. Her face in peril was terrible. She doesn't sell anything really well. There's nothing that she does really well at all. The promo after the match was the same thing that she's been doing since 2014 at least, or 2013. No growth in the last 5 or 6 years. It's just the same. It's Sasha Banks' greatest hits, and she has done literally nothing.
See, here's my thing with Sasha. Here's my thing with Sasha Banks. When I was on social media tonight, and I was looking just all over different platforms, there is a back and forth with her, which it's very, very hard for me to see what good quality she has, like what makes her a good wrestler. And because there's a lot of people who kind of have like that back and forth, like you either really love him or you really hate him. And for example, like Finn Balor, he's one that people either really, really like or you just don't like at all. But I could see...
not tonight.
But I can see like the appeal of Finn Balor, though. I can see like if somebody isn't a Finn Balor fan, but I can see why people are Finn Balor fans. With Sasha Banks, I mean, there is a group of people who genuinely really like her. and she has a good fan base. And I never really realized that until these past couple of weeks, where like, you know, in comparison to when she first, you know, came on the scene, and obviously, you know, the hype of Sasha Banks and everything else and whatever, but people really do enjoy her. But I'm having a very, very hard time enjoying her and seeing the good qualities that she has. But there is a need for her, as far as like there is a strong connection on those platforms.
If there is, it didn't show up. I mean,
she
doesn't get good reception.
She doesn't.
You know, people like her on Twitter. I'm sorry, Twitter metrics mean nothing to me. You know, it's so easy to trend on Twitter. It's so easy to get just
not
a
even on
bunch
Twitter
of
though.
fakes.
There is a lot of people
I
like
know,
there.
I know.
It is
There's
very
there's
back and forth.
Yes, of course, and we could say that about anybody. You know.
Yeah, but it's different with her.
No, it's really. It's
and
not.
I don't think that's true.
I
just because they're really she's
there are people that will defend Baron Corbin to the death. Why?
No, I don't think that's true.
It's true. I've met them.
Woo!
I've seen them. I've seen it.
Who defended him? I want to meet this person.
There's people on Twitter that love Baron Corbin.
Oh, wow.
They're sad individuals.
Well, get me their address because I will talk to them.
They're sad, but you know, it's like I don't entirely agree with the Sasha Banks has like this like incredible fan base. They're not at the arenas. They're on Twitter, you know, and it could just be a loud minority. I don't see it. You know, it's it just doesn't make sense.
I have a very hard time getting behind her. I don't know why. I
don't like how it's listen. I first of all, her character stinks. Okay, let's just get it. Like personally, as a person, from you know the stories you read and what you know about her and fan interactions, she's not. She doesn't rank high on my list. I don't think she's a very nice person in general.
She's not a nice person,
but you can tell that she's somebody who really, really loves her position and thinks that she's bigger than she is, and. You know, it's like I'm the fangirl that gets to play wrestler. You know, and
I'm Snoop Dogg's cousin.
Yeah, I'm Snoop Dogg's cousin. She has a lot of, you know, I don't know.
She's a lot of connections.
Yeah, she's living off the reports that she used to read about herself in 2014, 2015, thinking about her Bayley match at NXT, which was the peak of her career, and she has never had a match as good as that since. But her character work stinks. There's no growth whatsoever. She's been stuck in horrible storyline after horrible storyline and can't make anything of it. You know, like the mark of a true performer is to be able to take crap and make something out of it, and she can't do that.
She can't. No, she's
not. And if
capable.
she's losing, she wears it on her face. When she gets pushed, she's extra. I thought she was extra tonight. I thought she was extra last week. And in the ring, she's a ticking time bomb of a disaster waiting to happen.
She's so reckless.
So reckless.
This tag team overall, though, is just...
The tag match.
It's not solely her.
No.
It wasn't solely her. A good percentage of it was her.
It was Nia Jax fumbling through spots and having to sell for somebody who's 114 pounds. That dynamic also doesn't work out for me. Nia Jax is almost too big for her own good. You know, it's like she's such a giant monster. It's like when they used to make Big Show try to wrestle like regular matches. It's like, sorry, it's not going to happen. Andre the Giant never wrestled a regular match. He was a big guy, and he always just had showcase matches. Nia Jax
should be doing the same thing.
Maybe not the same as Andre. I don't think she's Andre level, but
no way is she Andre level.
But no. But like, you know, she needs to be more of like an attraction that is used sparingly, almost. You know, having her on TV does, you know, constantly week in, week out, having rough match after rough match helps nobody. All right, let's skip around a little bit because I don't want to go too. Let's save the small stuff for later. So now we have a question: who's going to be facing Brock Lesnar at the Rumble?
Ooh.
So Vince McMahon comes out. He says he's going to. He starts to speak, but John Cena makes his way to the ring. He said, "You know, you just lost your biggest match on the Royal Rumble on the road to WrestleMania, so you need someone to come out here and step up. Well, I'm going to save you the trouble. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, and Brock Lesnar all years ago told you to take this job and shove it. Brock Lesnar went to go play football back then, but he's not being entirely honest. Cena's timeline's a little off because Cena came up with the ruthless aggression thing in 2002, and Lesnar debuted in 2002, didn't leave until 2004. So it's not like his timeline is totally right. But he did step up after Lesnar left. That's when John Cena really, really hit his stride. He was hitting his stride anyway. He was a big-time main event heel or semi-main event heel in 2003 before turning face.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess maybe it does match up a little bit, but the way he was making it sound with the ruthless aggression thing, that was 2002, right after Stone Cold left, and they didn't have The Rock, and they don't have a star now, so it's like they needed somebody to step up. That was John Cena, and that is true. And he said, "I'm going to step up for you one more time, and give me a chance. I won't let you down. I want to be a 17-time champion." But they send out Drew McIntyre, and he said that Cena's time is up and his time is now. Then Baron Corbin came out and basically said, like, if I don't get an opportunity at the Universal title, I can sue everybody, which was whatever. He seems like that kind of guy. His character does, at least. And then Finn Balor comes out, and he actually, I got to say, and you know what? Might as well just talk about it now, and we'll just go through the whole progression to the main event.
Why not?
Finn Balor, I got the chance to recap the NXT UK Takeover show on Saturday.
Yes, you did.
And I had zero expectations going into it. I haven't watched a single episode of NXT UK. Who has the time? There's so much wrestling out there. I can't keep track of it all. But they had a really, really good Takeover show. Not the best Takeover show I've ever seen, but it was a damn good show. And the tag match that opened up the show is probably one of the best WWE tag matches I've seen in years. Maybe, yeah, it has to be years. And they had Finn Balor out there as the surprise against Jordan Devlin, who Finn Balor trained to wrestle, by the way. And Finn Balor came out. He was just all business. He got a great reception, and he just went. He was just doing his thing. He was being Finn Balor the way that Finn Balor, I'm sure, wants to be, and the way people want to see him. The crowd was electric, and he opened my eyes. I've been waiting to see that Finn Balor, that Finn Balor that everybody's been talking about.
Yeah,
and the Finn Balor that I've seen before. He looked great in this match, and it got over with the fans. And it's interesting to note that Vince McMahon did put a tweet out after NXT UK Takeover and said, "Yes, I saw NXT UK Takeover. Yes, it was awesome." That was the tweet. And initially I thought it was a Photoshop fake when I saw it online. And then I went to his Twitter and it was actually there. So if Vince really watched it, he saw how Finn Balor got over, not with being the cheesy, goofy, "Look at me, I'm Finn Balor, and nothing phases me."
Cheese meter.
The cheese meter. The Victoria cheese meter goes way up when Finn Balor comes out. He came out all business, and he got over, and it was a fine little showcase match. So that Finn Balor comes out tonight, pretty much. No smiling. Finn comes out there and says, everybody lays claim to a lot of things in this ring, but I'm the only one who's ever been Universal Champion. And McMahon says, "Maybe one day you will be again, but there's a lot of beef out here. A lot of beef." I was like, what is this beef thing?
He is like...
That was so weird.
No, but he loves being weird, though. He loves being creepy.
He loves beef.
He does.
Yeah. Vince is a beef guy. He's a beef man.
He loves beef.
And he goes, "I don't know. Balor says it's time to be honest. McMahon, you never believed in me, but the people do. He says he knows that McMahon is stubborn and won't change his mind, so how about he shows him?" So Balor attacks Corbin while McIntyre attacks Cena. McIntyre winds up laying everybody out, and Vince is on the apron smirking, because a long time ago, McIntyre used to be Vince's chosen one.
Yes.
So I thought this was a great segment. They made Balor look great. As soon as Vince said that, I don't know, there's a lot of beef. I had flashbacks to when he told, out of character too, by the way, out of character, on the Steve Austin podcast, that Cesaro doesn't have it.
That's so wrong.
And when he said that about Balor, I kind of got flashbacks to that. But obviously this is in character and they had an idea of what they wanted to do. But I did have that flashback of Vince thinking that Cesaro doesn't have it, which wound up in a sense being true. Cesaro is never going to be a world champion main event title holder. He could be, he should be, but there's something that holds him back on WWE television. It's never going to happen there. So Vince wasn't entirely wrong, and maybe it comes from the storylines that people that
maybe he shouldn't have spoken about it though.
But, yeah, I don't know.
The lack of it, like you should.
It definitely hurt. It definitely made Cesaro,
maybe you should.
It took Cesaro down.
Even if you're it's like one of those things, the golden rule: if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. Like
that's not Vince. That's definitely not
totally
Vince.
not Vince. But at the same time, though, if you're trying to promote, like you're like, nah, he doesn't have it. It's like,
strange. Not a good look.
You're not promoting your superstars, but okay.
Yeah. So right after that segment, so like we go to commercial, we come back, and Vince McMahon's walking backstage when Jinder Mahal comes up to him, and Jinder Mahal kisses his butt a little bit, says his suit is nice. He accidentally calls him Vince, which Mr. McMahon does not like.
No, he does not.
But he's upset that he wasn't considered for the Fatal 4-Way. So and people were robbed of the dream match between him and Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series 2 years ago now. I guess.
Yes.
Really a year, but. And so Vince says, pick a man in the Fatal 4-Way. If you beat that man, you can get in the match. So Mahal chooses to face Finn Balor, and McMahon wishes him luck.
Yeah.
So, but the way Vince made it sound was like, and the announcers even said, they go, Jinder Mahal versus Finn Balor, the winner goes to the Royal Rumble. I was like, wait a minute, what happened to the Fatal 4-Way?
Right.
Like, I even texted Billy. I was like, wait a minute, what happened to the Fatal 4-Way? Because Vince said, like, the winner goes to the Royal Rumble, and Michael Cole said, and I was like, whoa, what did we just watch?
You're like, whoa, semantics is important here.
No
Semantics is important.
That's what happens when you deviate from the script. So anyway, God. Anyway, we have Jinder Mahal versus Finn Balor, and by this point, the way that Jinder Mahal targeted Finn Balor's ribs and really made him, really injured him during the match, but Finn pulled it out. He hit a really impressive coup de grace, by the way. A lot of height, really nailed him in the stomach. It looked pretty nasty. I don't know how you how people take that move and get up afterwards.
Right?
If somebody jumps on my midsection, I'm dead. There's like no way. That's always impressive to me. Anybody that can take the coup de grace. Not that he's an incredibly heavy guy, but he's still coming.
Hey, listen.
It's still a body coming down on you. Anyway, the way they attacked him and injured the ribs, I was like, there's no, in my mind, I was like, there's no way that they can't give Finn Balor a title shot now. They're really, really doing something with him. They're really building him up. I really do wonder if it was the UK show.
From start to finish, for the progression of this whole night, I think this was very, very, very well built up. I really, truly do. And I would not be surprised if the UK event definitely played a factor.
Very well.
Because think about Mustafa Ali and how all of a sudden you have Vince McMahon's back. You have Vince McMahon likes you. You get that push.
Yeah.
It took Vince McMahon saying, this man is incredible, for him to get his opportunities. So why not? And they pulled last minute stuff together before. And with Braun Strowman and his whole thing, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Take a chance.
Yeah,
and if Vince McMahon's behind it, then you're good.
Yeah, and build Finn Balor up as much as possible. I don't think Balor wins at the Royal Rumble, but I could be wrong. I also didn't think there'd be an Intercontinental Championship title change tonight, but it did happen.
Certainly did.
So, Finn Balor, hey, give him a shot. People are behind him,
They are.
now. It's hard to get behind bad promos, and I for sure have had my criticisms of Finn Balor, but tonight was one of those career nights.
And eye-opening.
It really was.
It was eye-opening for people, and for people who were on the fence about him. You were rooting for him throughout the entire night.
And not everybody gets to go over John Cena clean. Not everybody does.
No.
Fatal 4-Way match, Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin versus Drew McIntyre versus John Cena. Really, really good Fatal 4-Way. Really, really good main event.
So good.
A lot of stuff going on. And people, were killing Finn Balor with their finishers. We come back, so we go through 2 commercial breaks. Finn Balor spends most of the time on his back getting beat up. Actually, there was a really strange, another one of those like miscues that we were talking about. Before it went to the second commercial, McIntyre hits Baron Corbin with a slam off the top rope, right? And then he sets up for a Claymore, and this would be a good time to go to commercial now.
Oh, why not?
I really want to know what the hell was going to happen there. Yeah, so that was pretty weird. Yeah, McIntyre's just so damn impressive. I did think it was odd that Cena hit his entire finishing sequence on Drew McIntyre and looked poised to pin him. Now I know McIntyre is he's gonna be doing something special this year. There's something really big's gonna happen with McIntyre.
Him, yeah.
But Cena did hit him with the pair of shoulder tackles. He hit him with the back suplex powerbomb. He hit him with the 5-knuckle shuffle, went for the attitude adjustment, and that's usually where people slide out of it. But McIntyre took the AA and was going to get pinned until Corbin broke it up. I was so stunned that they didn't have McIntyre just kick out of it.
Yeah, I
really was. So anyway, Cena, also in this match, another impressive thing, we're looking at it right now, McIntyre, so Cena was coming off the top rope for that weird leg drop thing that he does that he really should remove from his moveset immediately. Set list. I'm still a talking musician. But McIntyre powerbombed down in midair, and I hate watching Cena take that move. I hate it because he took that move at SummerSlam 2008 against Batista and blew out a disc in his neck and had to get neck surgery.
Yeah.
So I just hate seeing him take that move. That's got to stop. We had a super attitude adjustment on Finn Balor off the middle rope, which is usually a move that Cena uses to put people away.
Right.
Obviously, he didn't pin him immediately. But Corbin throws Cena out of the ring and covers Balor, and Balor kicks out. So Balor kicked out of a middle rope AA. And he also survives chair shots from Corbin. And then, after McIntyre comes in, hits a Claymore kick, and Balor knocks McIntyre out with a big DDT, he goes to the top rope, hits a coup de grace on John Cena. And Finn Balor pins John Cena clean. Clean as a whistle. Not everybody gets to go over on John Cena. And then, not only that, afterwards, John Cena gets on the microphone and says, you have to fight for an opportunity of respect. Earlier, Vince said he didn't believe in you, but the people do. We'll count John Cena as one more believer in Finn Balor. He gives Finn Balor his endorsement and tells him to give Lesnar hell at the Royal Rumble. So Cena not only gets pinned clean, but he strongly endorses Finn Balor. So they strap the rocket firmly to Finn Balor tonight. Firm.
Fantastic. And, I feel like such a hypocrite, but... a while ago when Cena was really all that they had as far as their ultimate face, and and one can argue they still don't really have that necessarily at this point, but I love seeing John Cena back. I really do. I like his role that you're that established where you can come, you can take a pin and have somebody pin you clean, you can endorse another person. And it's not going to do anything because he's already had this amazing career. And part of this amazing career now is helping to build other people up.
Yeah.
And John Cena, you love him, you hate him, he brings a presence to the show. And he's another person who, if he consents to you being really, really good and should have this push, then you're really, really good and you should have this push.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely had a big hand in getting Daniel Bryan over initially, too. Especially gave him a great match at, SummerSlam 2013? Yeah, that was it. And really helped solidify Daniel Bryan as a top guy, because that was at a point when no one was pinning John Cena clean. Nobody. And Daniel Bryan managed to do it. Of course, he lost the title 2 seconds later to Randy Orton, one of the shortest title reigns ever, but... Still, Daniel Bryan pinned John Cena clean, and John Cena let that happen.
It's nice
Although
to see...
he did have an exploded burster sack in his elbow, too, but that happened.
It's just nice to see John Cena in this role, and it's nice to have him back as much as...
I don't think he's going to do what Jericho does, but, Jericho's just losing to everybody, including Fandango, and doesn't get hurt, but, Cena's not going to lose to Fandango at WrestleMania, but, it is nice to see Cena move into another role and be completely unselfish about it as well. So Finn Balor going to the Royal Rumble against Brock Lesnar.
Hey, you know what? I like it.
Me too.
I really, really enjoyed it.
Me too. And I've had my criticisms of Finn Balor, but good stuff. Tonight was really good stuff.
My students will be really excited too.
It was a career night for Finn Balor. So, WWE Intercontinental Championship match, triple threat. They announced this over the week, and I thought nothing of it. Dean Ambrose, the champion, versus Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins. They had an okay match, nothing good. Like the crowd, nothing like spectacular.
No,
say that.
No,
I shouldn't say nothing good. But the fans tried.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Nothing out of the ordinary. It was a good match, not great. Never got out of the tier of good. The fans tried to get a half-hearted "This is awesome" chant going, but it like I said, it was half-hearted, and there was like 3 people, and it just never took off.
This crowd was just
the crowd wasn't feeling it, but there was one truly, truly awesome part in this match, which I will show you right now, when Seth Rollins was just hit the ropes, and then Lashley annihilated him with this humongous one-arm spine buster, for one of those Farouk Ron Simmons spine busters. It was nasty, and that was actually really awesome. And actually, the way Rollins sold it too was pretty sweet. But I was like, I was texting Billy during this match. I was like, this match is boring. This is I just not going for me. I'm not digging it. Even the ending was kind of botched, where Ambrose and Lashley kind of teamed together to go for a doomsday device, but Rollins landed on his feet when he really didn't. He landed on his head, but because it was the finish, you can't sell it. So Rollins just has to hit the ropes and then just pretend it never happened. Lio Rush pulls the ropes down to get Rollins out of the ring. Lashley follows it up with a spear on Ambrose and pins him to become the new Intercontinental Champion. The new Intercontinental Champion is the almighty Bobby Lashley. That was a really awesome spear, by the way. The way he delivered it, and he did like a full gainer, that was pretty sweet. That was actually a really great spear. Probably one of the best spears he's ever given. No clue. Never saw that coming whatsoever. There's a few reasons why it could have happened, and I even put in my recap, and I'm usually never this vague in my tweets.
Yeah.
But I said, I'm interested to see where it goes. Maybe they think it's better for Rollins versus Ambrose to be non-title. There could be a reason behind it. It could be that Rollins is good. So there's a few reasons why. A lot of people say it's because Kevin Owens is coming back.
Okay.
And obviously Owens was taken out by Bobby Lashley when Bobby Lashley turned heel. So that would be a natural feud. Very well could be. That very well could be the entire reason. I also think that if Rollins is going to go after Ambrose constantly, and Ambrose is the champion, eventually Rollins is going to have to pick up his win. But because I think, and this is just me, I think Seth Rollins is going to win the Royal Rumble. You don't want, you can. They've done it before with Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior, but you don't want to have the Intercontinental Champion having to face the WWE or WWF at the time champion in the main event of WrestleMania. You want to have the Intercontinental Championship focus somewhere else, I guess. So if Rollins is finally going to get his win back over Ambrose, it's going to have to be in a non-title, no titles on the line, blood feud kind of match at Elimination Chamber or something like that. That's how I feel.
Somebody wrote on the Wrestleview recap.
Oh yeah.
Yes, which I want to get your opinion on. I'm glad they finally put the IC belt on Lashley. Hopefully they have Ambrose turn face again and apologize to Rollins and Reigns. Seth would have been better as a heel than Ambrose, but I think it's funny that they had Lio Rush help Lashley with that. They are making Lashley look weak.
No,
what do you think?
They're making Lashley look like a heel. That's
okay.
That's the whole point of Lio Rush is just.
What's your take on the other component of it, though? The switching of the roles with Ambrose and Rollins.
No. Rollins is not turning heel. God, that would be like when they turned Strowman heel. Rollins is the one guy that is organically truly over, that can cut a good face promo. They can't turn. They cannot turn Seth Rollins heel. Okay. That would be brutal. He said the person saying that he would be better as a heel than Ambrose.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying I didn't know your take on the whole thing. So just wanted to get your opinion.
I don't think Ambrose is turning face, but I also don't think that this heel run has been everything it could be. It could have been so. It could have been way better.
Well, I think
there's a lot of mistakes that they made.
Yeah.
What do you want to say?
No, I think they pushed it too quickly. I don't know if that was their initial plan, but obviously, once again, because of what Roman Reigns is dealing with right now, I think they just moved it along to try to change the conversation, but still keep the conversation of Roman Reigns.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I agree. I don't think it reaches potential, and I don't think it ever really will reach its potential. But they have to just kind of tweak. They've had hit or miss moments with him. They've had like
once
really
they turned him into
moments.
Bane, it just got weird.
Right.
Once he was getting the shot, when he got the shots at the veterinarian's office or whatever, when they're sticking just needles in him.
The veterinarian's
I don't know. Like, the guy looked like a vet, and like they were just sticking needle after needle after needle in him. It was like, oh, I got to be vaccinated before I go to the next. It got goofy as hell. So friggin' fast.
Which is what the problem was initially before.
And then, of course, when they finally have their match after 2 months, it was totally dead in a death spot on the card. It sucked to high hell. And it was very reminiscent of Triple H versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania 25. So hopefully they can turn this around. I don't think, we'll see. We'll see. They have one more match for sure. One more pay-per-view match for sure coming up. I don't think it's going to be at the Rumble. I'm thinking Elimination Chamber. Very
nice to see, though, about with Lashley with the title, though.
I like it.
I don't mind it at all.
It's something fresh.
It's something fresh. It's something different.
It's something for Owens to come back on.
Exactly, and to gear your focus towards something else. Yeah.
So, let's see. Just going back to the chat, we haven't seen the chat in a little bit. Hey, Andrew Elder's here. Hey, Andrew, how are you, sir?
Hello.
Let's see. Kind of wonder how WWE would be if Finn didn't get hurt in 2016. That's a great question.
It is a great question.
I do wonder that sometimes.
I did think about that beforehand. What
do you think would happen?
You know what? I think that initially it would have been really good. He would have had a lot of hype. But as WWE has been known to mess things up, he probably wouldn't have had as long of a title run maybe as he should have. Yeah, kept the momentum going with him, because they tend to ruin things for a time being. Yeah. So I don't know. I like to have faith that they would have really like sought it out and put a lot of time into it and everything.
I think what would have happened is Finn Balor. They would have tried to do it with Finn Balor, what they were doing, pretty much up until last week with him, and tried to make him like the go get him face, and it just wouldn't. And then it wouldn't have worked. It would have fallen on his face, and Vince would have taken the title off. That's exactly right. Vince would have taken the title off him in October and said like, "Oh, I told you, damn it."
That's exactly right.
Small guys never get over.
Right.
So, and then he'd be into obscurity. So.
So his injury kind of helped him and didn't help him.
And then I guess like he would have just lost the title like Brock Lesnar or whatever it was.
Yeah. So I would like to have. I just think they have a habitual thing where they tend to ruin things, good things.
Yeah. Well, now the last big news, the last truly big news on the show came during a horrible segment of A Moment of Bliss, the second horrible one in a row. Alexa Bliss. First of all, they did this really weird thing with Alexa Bliss, which was like, sometimes I'm like, do the writers ever just sit back and just go like, why would we do this? How does this work into the show? Why, like, what the hell does this have to do with anything? Before the Moment of Bliss started, they had a stagehand go into Alexa Bliss's dressing room because she wasn't answering the door, and she was topless, so she's covering up her chest. What the? During the women's empowerment movement in WWE, we're doing the Attitude Era. Ooh, caught me with my tits out. Like, no, come on. It had nothing to do with anything. It was just so the guys in the crowd could be like, ooh, Alexa Bliss is bare back. Oh my God. It was totally tacky, totally pointless. Nothing behind it. And then Alexa Bliss comes out and it doesn't even get mentioned. She's like, she didn't even say anything about like, oh, stupid stagehands. Nothing. It was just like, okay, that happened.
I know. It was like not even.
It happened. And it was over. Yeah. It was stupid.
Well, there's still shows who do that. Like,
anyway, I don't even want to get into it.
No, but it is stupid. But
anyway, she comes out, and the only good part of this segment, the only good major news on A Moment of Bliss. 3 teams from Raw, 3 teams from SmackDown Live will step inside the Elimination Chamber in 5 weeks to determine the first ever women's tag team champions. And I thought it was very, very interesting, the language behind that, in that they said 3 teams from Raw, 3 teams from SmackDown. This sounds like it's going to be exactly what I said it should be. the Raw, I keep saying Raw, the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships should be defended on both shows because there's just not enough tag teams. There's not a deep roster of women on on both rosters.
Definitely.
To warrant having tag team championships.
Definitely.
So if they can cross brand, I think that would really, really make this thing work.
And that brings the excitement to it too. You don't know what show it's going to be on. You don't know if it's going to be Raw. You don't know if it's going to be SmackDown.
Yeah.
So I'm not for it necessarily, but I'm for it if they're going to go with this type of form. You know, that they're just going to keep it on one show.
No. They're going to put them on both shows. I think. No, you know, it's good. Yeah.
But you know what I mean. They're not having separate.
They're not going to have separate titles for each brand. Yeah,
exactly.
That would be ridiculous.
No. So
that was a really, really big news. Really, really big news. Elimination Chamber match, nonetheless.
Which another caveat that's
pick it. Who's the first women's tag team champions?
Oh. Ooh. Actually, I don't want to say it.
What does the chat room think?
I don't want to say it.
What will be? I know what you want to say.
I know who. I have an idea in mind. Sasha and Bailey.
Sasha and Bailey. Yeah, I mean that's everybody's. I think that would be everybody's pick.
Because I really think that's they had to build up. I mean, like I said, they had that moment of like they were frenemies and whatever and blah 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 blah. I think this is where they're like, oh, this is their first. They're the first ones. Like,
yeah. Well, yeah. Andrew thinks it's the Hug and Boss connection.
Yeah. I do.
I think the Riot Squad. I think the Riot Squad gets beat all the time, and I think they're gonna get. I think they'll get it.
Really?
I think so. Huh. I think they'll since they're the Riot Squad, I think the Elimination Chamber plays into their characters.
Hey,
and
I have an idea.
I'm just gonna go for it, or watch. It'll be the Iconics.
I have an idea.
What?
Okay, so you say the Riot Squad. Mm-hmm. I say Sasha and Bailey. Let's on air.
I have a better idea. Go on.
Let's on air. $20 bet. Okay. Mm-hmm. Between the both of us.
Okay.
And then I think it's just, I don't know.
Even though my money's your money.
It doesn't matter. Like, it's still $20.
Yes, okay, $20 is $20. Okay.
$20 is $20.
All right. So we'll what if none of them win? Then nothing happens?
Then nothing happens.
Okay, fine. I think me and Victoria should lock in. So I'll lock in my pick. Victoria locks in hers.
Okay.
If one of our things comes true, or you know what? I'm going to lock in my pick. And if my pick doesn't come true, Doug has to take a shot on Wrestleview Weekly for me.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to lock in your pick so Doug takes another shot?
Sure. So, okay. All right, cool.
All right.
What happens though if both of us, what if our teams...
He has to do double shots if both of them...
Oh, okay. So if...
Double shot.
Wait, so let's get this straight. So if Riot Squad wins...
Doug takes a shot.
Doug takes a shot.
If the Boston Hug Connection wins, Doug takes a shot.
But if they both...
If they both
don't win...
Doug
takes
double shot.
Double shot. Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
All right.
I don't know how that math works out, but that's what I think should happen.
Oh my God.
Somebody tell Doug that just happened. Anyway, the rest of the segment sucked. Paul Heyman's promo sucked, and then they sent out Heavy Machinery, and that sucked. The whole thing just sucked right after that. Then the ring announcer starts to announce the Fatal 4-Way, and they just go to commercial. So it was just stupid as hell. The whole thing was just a disaster. So yeah, that was all the big stuff that happened on Raw. What were the little things? I'm actually scrolling through my recap trying to find it. Oh yeah, another. I guess it's not a little thing.
It's not. I was gonna say it really is not another little thing.
Cross.
Yeah,
Nikki Cross.
I was gonna say it's not little.
She's not on the Raw roster, but she's just there. James Carl is here in the chat room with us. Hello, James. This Raw sucked big time. I don't know.
Okay, well, hey,
that's his opinion. That's his opinion.
It's an opinion.
I'm cool with that.
You're entitled.
I'm cool with that. So, Nikki Cross is not part of the Raw roster. Until the NXT call-ups get assigned to a brand, they can appear on both shows. So, Raw and SmackDown. So, Nikki Cross came out just tonight to team with Bayley and Natalya to take on the Riot Squad. Of course, Bayley, Natalya, and Nikki Cross win, but Bayley picked up the pin. Nikki Cross did the work, and then Bayley picked up the pin. It It was a good debut. You know, it's good to see what's coming to the women's division.
Definitely.
The only thing, God, I remember Adam said this a couple months ago when he recapped one of the takeover shows. I think it was like the June takeover show.
Okay.
And golly, he said Nikki Cross just does too much with the grunting and the screaming and the weird slapping herself in the face and stuff like that. It's like it's great for her character, but she just does it too much.
It's too excessive. Yeah,
and
it's excessive.
Tonight it was like extra.
Read all about it.
It was way too much, the grunting and screaming and slapping.
Yeah.
And the crowd didn't know her, so it's just like she's screaming and
so she just comes off as like,
and just like this like weird person is just screaming to nobody. And you know, it's stunning though. Like when an NXT call-up happens, it's really stunning. As much praise as NXT gets online, and the takeover shows are universally acclaimed online almost always.
Yeah.
It's true. The masses don't watch it. There's
not enough people.
There wasn't a big contingent of people that were excited to see Nikki Cross or even knew who she was or what the hell she does.
Which is really sad because
they're missing good wrestling, but hey, you know what? It's you know, I'm almost thinking that sometimes the NXT call-ups are just really are big handicaps. It's like, you know, I really think that they should just keep doing the video packages, keep introducing them, but instead of like doing the 6 and 1, just kind of like, you know, maybe do individual ones like what Lars Sullivan was getting. Notice there's no more Lars Sullivan promos now.
Yeah.
Now there's a reason why. According to the Wrestling Observer, Lars Sullivan was supposed to do something on Raw last week, because we know that EC3 and Lacey Evans had dark matches at the Raw tapings last week. Lars Sullivan apparently has an anxiety disorder.
Okay.
And he had a panic attack backstage and couldn't do anything on Raw.
Really?
And then he went home and it was like kind of like disappeared. So like now the Lars Sullivan plans allegedly are up in the air right now.
Wow.
So that's
really
surprising.
That's really sad, though.
Sad.
I feel very badly for
if true, very sad. Very
wow.
sad.
I didn't know that.
But of course, show goes on. Lacey Evans also made a cameo tonight, and somebody actually, when I tweeted the thing out of Lacey Evans, somebody goes, "Carmen Sandiego." If anybody remembers Carmen Sandiego, great show.
Yeah, it was a great show.
EC3. Now this is the other little thing that happened on Raw tonight: the Revival versus the Lucha House Party. Oh, all those people that were clamoring for the Revival. We got to get the Revival. Every single match that they've had on the main roster, just dead. Totally
They're
dead.
fans did it to themselves. I'm sorry.
Nobody cares about the Revival when they wrestle on Raw. Zero people do, and their matches really aren't that great. The Lucha House Party match, this match sucked, but also it kind of it just had no life to it, because even WWE didn't give a crap about it, because they cut to Vince McMahon's office while the match is going on to show people outside. They interviewed everybody, and then EC3 made a cameo, didn't say anything, but just appeared, and then that was it for him.
Right.
But they cut out of the Revival match to interview Apollo Crews and Kurt Hawkins about their desire to be in the WWE Universal Championship match. Kurt Hawkins.
That's the saddest part about it.
I know.
You're not cutting to John Cena. You're cutting to Kurt Hawkins.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's something.
Oh. How low on the totem pole do you have to be?
James Carl says the Revival's just another tag team with no characters. I got to agree. Jason F. also in the room. Thank you. Say hello. All right. So that's Raw in a nutshell. So like the Revival stuff, that stuff really dragged, and the Revival was right after the Ronda Rousey, Sasha Banks, Nia Jax, Tamina bad tag match. So it was like, the show opened up with like a really weird, fun thing, but kind of strange with Braun Strowman. And then we had 2 horrible tag matches in a row. And I was like, God, this is going to be a long show. But it wound up being extraordinarily newsworthy. So again, just to recap, Brock Lesnar is now facing Finn Balor with the Universal Championship on the line at Royal Rumble. Braun Strowman has been removed from the match. Bobby Lashley is our new Intercontinental Champion. So Victoria's giving us a countdown. And we have the Victoria Cheese-O-Meter created tonight. So that's 3. Nikki Cross had a match on Raw tonight. That's 4. Anything else I'm missing? I don't know.
4 is good.
4 is good. But Finn Balor had the rocket strapped to him, and he pinned John Cena clean. So maybe that's 5. Crazy stuff happening tonight. The Raw, the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. That's your official 5th one. So tons and tons of stuff happening on the show tonight. Let's go one more time to the poll on Twitter, which I've actually been watching it go up and down, up and down. It was down to 75 at one point, but now I have to transition over quickly. 79% give it a thumbs up. So it's down a little bit. People are still unsure. You know why? It's the 3-hour Raw. It's the curse of Raw. Even when it's good, there's parts of it that really are bad.
There are parts
no
where
matter
you can
what.
Exactly. There's always parts where you can say, like
I wish I didn't watch that.
And there's a few people who, when I was reading the comments for Twitter with the poll, they're like, they only voted a thumbs up because of Finn Balor.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
But they said everything else kind of fell flat for them.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what? But that's Raw. You know, and my standards for Raw anymore are so low that if they just do a little,
right?
You know,
one good thing, I'm like, oh, thumbs up.
like if there's like 2 things that I was surprised by, it's like, okay, it's a good show. You know, I was surprised by the Lashley title change. I was surprised by the Strowman thing. I was surprised by
Finn Balor, the whole
the women's tag team. I was surprised by so many things tonight. So I have to say I give it a thumbs up. Victoria?
I do give it a thumbs up.
All right, let's see what the chat's saying. Quentin says Mike Tedesco is still the greatest Raw recapper of all time. I like that.
Agreed.
You know, good show. I you know, that's all I have to say about it. I think we can wrap it up from there. What do you think, Victoria?
Oh, definitely.
Make sure you see Glass on Friday. Glass is coming on Friday.
All right, let these people go to bed, please. Are you serious? Like
Glass, it's coming.
No one's paying you to say this.
I know, but Glass is coming. That's all. That's really the main thing I got out of it.
Is that what we're doing on Friday?
It has to be now. I saw Glass so many damn times. I just want to see what the hell happens now.
Okay, if it doesn't snow, we'll go.
If we're going, especially if it snows.
I mean, we can really walk to the theater.
Quentin goes a smash Glass. I like that. That's good. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in with us. We apologize for the stream issues earlier, but
things happen.
You know what? We had a good show. We had a lot of fun talking with everybody.
Things happen.
Everybody, have a great night.
Have a great night and a great week.
Yes, have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Stay safe in the snow for the people on the Eastern Seaboard. Have a good one, everybody.